Hey guys, today I'm going to do another Magic the Gathering deck analysis, and this is going to be the Naya Superfriends deck. Why is it a Superfriends deck? Well, you see, basically it contains a lot of Planeswalkers, and Naya means it's white, red, and green. So those are the color combinations. Let's go over the cards. First we got Hero of Bladehold, a very powerful creature, 4 mana, 3/4. Battle Cry, so whenever it attacks, the other attacking creatures get +1/+0 until end turn. And then when it attacks, it creates 2/1/1 soldier creature tokens tapped and attacking. So basically, and those don't disappear at the end of turn. They stay on the battlefield. So every time this attacks, I get basically two ones with the battle cry that are attacking, and they stay on the battlefield. So that's really powerful. Leona War Leader, honestly kind of similar. 4 mana, 4/4, and when it attacks, I get 2/1/1 cat creature tokens with lifelink that are tapped and attacking. So very similar to Hero to Bladehold, except it's without the battle cry, but they have lifelink. So that's also really good. Lightning Greaves, 2 mana. Equipment, quick creature has haste and shroud, which means it can't be targeted, and they can attack right away. And it has equip cost 0, so I can use it right away when the creature comes in. So it's really good. It's another cool land I got from the latest set, Kamgao Neon Dynasty. Okay, here's the Planeswalkers. I got a ton of them in this deck. Here's the Johnny Call of Pride, 3 mana, which is very cheap for a Planeswalker. The first one, put a +1/+1 counter on one creature, so pretty small effect. Second one, some creature gains flying and double strike until end of turn. That's a better effect. And then last one, put X 2/2 white cat creature tokens, where X is my life total. So yes, don't let this build up. It can be really devastating. Flame Tongue Kevu, 4 mana, 4/2. Classic creature, originally from Planeshift, but they reprinted it. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 4 damage to a creature. So really good at taking creatures out, because you get 4 mana, 4 damage, and you get a 4/2 creature. Lightning Helix, 2 mana, instant, deals 3 damage, you gain 3 life. It's a lightning bolt and a healing salve put together in 1 card. Very nice and efficient. Sword to Plowshares, 1 mana, you remove a creature from the game, and they get life equal to its power, but who cares? You removed a creature from the game, 1 mana at an instant speed. Really good. Swiftblade Indicator, Vinegar, 2 mana for a 1/1. Seems pretty weak, but then look, double strike, vigilance, and trample. 3 abilities. And once you pump this up, which I have a lot of cards that can pump creatures up, this can get very powerful for 2 mana. Boost Harl, Boorish Herder. So this is 4 mana for 3/3. Then when it enters the battlefield or attacks, then one of my creatures gains double strike and lifelink until the end of turn. And then this one is the 2 commanders thing. Okay, so it doesn't apply here actually. I'm using this guy only because he's really good. I mean, when he enters the battlefield or attacks, one of my creatures gains double strike and lifelink, which means I gain double the life when they do damage. So that's really good. A lightning bolt, so efficient, so good. It's a staple, 1 mana, deal 3 damage to a creature or player. Instant. Really good. Staple. Elspeth Nairn, one of my favorite Planeswalkers. 4 mana. First ability gets a 1/1 white creature soldier token, which is really nice to have. And then second one gets a creature gets +3/+3 and gains flying until end of turn. Honestly, I use this ability so many times to wipe people out. Last ability, I've used this a few times as well. It's another really crazy ability. Emblems basically you cannot get rid of an emblem. Like they're basically, like if you have an emblem, it's there on the battlefield forever. You can't even get rid of them. It's not even considered a permanent, I think. So it says artifacts, creatures, enchantments, and lands you control have indestructible. So yeah, everything you have is indestructible forever until the end of the game. That's crazy. Another Planeswalker, Johnny the Great-Hearted. Not quite as powerful, but still good. Creatures you control vigilance, which means they don't tap when they attack. First one, healing salve, gain 3 life. The second one, there's only 2 abilities for this guy. I get a +1/+1 counter each creature you control and a loyalty counter each other Planeswalker I control. Good with other Planeswalkers, which is what this deck's about. Plays with other Planeswalkers. Garruk Relentless, another Planeswalker. When it has 2 or few loyalty counters, comes to 3. When it has 2 or few, transform him. 0, so the first one deals 3 damage to a creature. That creature deals damage back. Make sure that creature doesn't kill this guy, otherwise he'll die. You just want him enough to transform. The other ability just puts a 2/2 green wolf creature token for 0. So just use it every turn. And then when he transforms, he becomes Garruk the Veil Cursed. So you get first one puts a 1/1 token with Death Touch, and the second one, sacrifice a creature. You search your life for a creature card, put in your hand. And the third one, creature control get trampled. It's an overrun ability, except X is the number of creature cards in graveyard. Okay, so both pretty good. 4 mana too. Nissa, Voice of Zendikar, only 3 mana. First ability, you just get a 0/1, so not too special. Just a blocker, basically. And the second one, put a +1/+1 counter each creature you control. Not too special. Could be useful, though. And then last one, gain X life, draw X cards, X is the number of lands you control. So that's a good ability. Mirror Weatherlight Duelist. So 3 mana for 3/2. First strike. When attacks, each opponent can't block with more than one creature. And then when it's tapped, no more than one creature can attack me. So yeah, it's a good offensive and defensive card, honestly. And the Lightning Bolt, Near Panorama. That's the 3 colors of this deck. I'm gonna search my library for mountain, forest, or plains. Put into play tapped. So Damirat, another Planeswalker. 3 mana. I can look at the top card of my deck. If it's a creature, I put it in my hand. Second one creature fights another creature, which means they deal damage to each other without attacking. Last ability, I get an emblem. Creatures you control have double strike, trample, hexproof, and haste for the rest of the game. So all these planeswalkers are kind of crazy. Another Elspeth. Elspeth, Sun's Nemesis. This one, first ability, 2 creatures get +2/+1 until end of turn. Second one, create 2 1/1 creature tokens. The third one, gain 5 life. And has an escape, so I can cast it from the graveyard, so I can come back to. That's really cool. So it's not too powerful, I would say, but just all around pretty nice to use. So yeah, Sun's Nemesis. What else? We got Ajani, Adversary of Tyrants here. So 4 mana. First one, put a +1/+1 counter. 2 creatures. I told you I have a lot of ways to put +1/+1 counters and pump up my guys. Second one, return creature card, convert them and cost 2 lives from the graveyard. I don't think I'm going to use that too much. Then you get emblem at the beginning of your end step. Create 3 1/1 white creatures tokens with lifelink. So every turn I would get 3 1/1 white cat creatures with lifelink, which is pretty good. Jungle Shrine. It adds 1 mana of each of the Naya colors. So it's tapped, but you know it's a good mana fixer. This is another cool mountain I got from new set. Kamigawa Neo Dynasty. It's another cool land I got from new set. Chandra the Firebrands, the red planeswalker. So first ability deals 1 damage. Not that great, but it's something. Then when you cast your next instant sorcery, you copy it. It's pretty good. It's a fork basically. The last ability deals 6 damage to up to 6 target creatures or players. Really good in multiplayer. Another planeswalker. Told you I have a lot in this deck. Dami Anarchabolas. First one, creatures you control get +1/+0. This is the passive effect for 3 mana. This card. First one, you add a mana, and then creature spells you cast can't be countered. So, only 2 abilities though. Target creature you control fights another creature I don't control. So it's not really like overpowered or anything, but I mean it's a 3 mana planeswalker, so don't expect it to be too great. But it's a nice passive ability just to pump up my creatures. So, and then adds mana too. Here, Kytheon, Hero of Akros. So yeah, this is actually a planeswalker, believe it or not. So this is a creature first. It's 1 mana for 2/1, and then at the end of the combat, if at least this guy and 2 other creatures attacked, he gets exiled and he gets transformed. And then he can also have the ability to gain indestructible for 3 mana. Then when he transforms, he becomes a planeswalker. He becomes Gideon Battleforged. And the first ability, up to 1 target creature attacks him, so they have to attack me. And then until my next turn, creature gains indestructible and untaps. So no minus abilities, all plus abilities. And then 0/1 until end turn becomes a 4/4 with indestructible, prevent all damage that's dealt to him. So yeah, basically just make an opponent goad someone to attack me, and then I'll make him indestructible to block him. So hopefully kill him too. So yeah, it's a nice transforming card. Also planeswalker. Another planeswalker here. They're all different, by the way. Ajani Steadfast. Until end of turn, 1 target creature gains +1/+1, first strike, vigilance, and lifelink. All 3 of those. And then the second ability is put a +1/+1 counter each creature control and a loyalty counter on each other planeswalker I control. That's really good for planeswalker Super Friends deck like this. Last ability, Emblem. If a source would deal damage to you, prevent all but one of that damage. So that's gonna make it really hard for the opponent to kill you if every time they're gonna do 1 damage only. Bloodbraid Elf. I love this card. 4 mana, haste, but it has Cascade. So when I play this spell, Cascade means I flip cards from the top of my deck until I reveal a card that's lower than 4 mana. And then I play it without paying the mana cost for it. I could choose to play it without paying the mana cost for it. So this is 4 mana for 3/2 haste, plus I get another card that's 3 mana or less for free. I play it for free, so that's really good. Huntmaster of the Fells, 4 mana, 2/2. When it enters the battlefield or transforms, I get a 2/2 onto the battlefield and I gain 2 life. And then if no spells were cast, I transform him. When he's transformed, he becomes this werewolf thing, Ravager of the Fells, 4/4 trample. When it transforms, it deals 2 damage to an opponent, 2 damage to a creature. And then each turn, if a player plays 2 or more spells, I transform him back. And that's when he activates this ability again. So every time he transforms, he activates an ability, which is nice. All right, another Gideon, Ally of Zendikar. So this one, until end turn, he first one is a +1, becomes a 5/5 indestructible, prevent all damage. Second one, I get it's 0. I get a 2/2 night token. Last one is a Glorious Anthem, permanent. It's a permanent Glorious Anthem. Creature you control get +1/+1 forever. Another one of those guys, Huatli Radiant Champion, another Planeswalker. First one, put a loyalty counter for each creature I control. Second one, creature get +X/+X, where X number of creatures I control. Last one, whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you may draw a card. And that lasts forever, because it's an emblem. So, another Planeswalker, Arden Cord. 4 mana, and only has 2 abilities. Until end of turn, 1 target creature has +2/+2 and gains Vigilance and Haste. Second ability, 2/2 Wolf Creature Token. I transform it. Becomes Arlen Embraced by the Moon. First ability gets +1/+1. Creatures I control get +1/+1, gain trample. Not just one creature, all of my creatures. Second one deals 3 damage to a creature or player, and I transform this back. And then the last one is you get an emblem. Creatures you control have haste, and then tap this creature deals damage equal to its power to a creature or player. So that's all my creatures can do that for the rest of the game. So very powerful. Garruk Wildspeaker, still one of my favorite Planeswalkers, and one of the first too. Came out in Lauren originally. 4 mana. First one untaps 2 lands. Second one puts a 3/3 token on the battlefield. Third one's an overrun. Creature you control get +3/+3 and gain trample. So simple and effective, and you can see why this guy's still so popular, even though he came out such a long time ago. He's one of the first Planeswalkers that ever came out. Farming Avenger here. 4 mana for 3/3. Whenever this guy and at least 2 other creatures attack, deals 3 damage to a creature or player, and I gain 3 life. So that's nice. And then all right, Wandering Emperor. This is a new Planeswalker that just came out. So it's 4 mana, flash, which means I can play it on my opponent's turn. And as long as I enter the battlefield this turn, I can activate anytime I can cast an instant. So that means as soon as I can play this guy, even on the opponent's turn, I can use the abilities. Which is, I think, a first for a Planeswalker. I've never seen any other Planeswalker do that. First ability, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature against first strike. Second one creates a 2/2 with Vigilance. And the third one exiles a tapped creature against 3 life. So I can use any of these as an instant. So that's really, really cool. Yeah, and none of the abilities are, there's no ultimate ability here, but still, very versatile card. Another Planeswalker, Ajani Vengeance. First ability, permanent doesn't untap, which is annoying for the opponent. Second one is the second one is actually a Lightning Helix. So, yeah, deals 2 damage, 3 damage to a creature or a player, and I gain 3 life. So it's Lightning Helix. And then the last one is a one-sided Armageddon. Destroy all lands target player controls. Oh man, it's a one-sided Armageddon. Okay, so yeah, that's a ridiculous ultimate ability. Okay, now I got another Garruk Unleashed. Okay, so 4 mana, 1 target creature gets +3/+3 gains trample until end turn. The second one creates a 3/3. Then if my opponent has more creatures, I get a loyalty counter. So that's almost like a -1 if my opponent controls. That's basically almost the same as Garrick Wald's Speaker then, okay. So it's the second one is almost the same as the Garrick Wald's Speaker's second ability, a -1 if my opponent controls more creatures of me. Then the last one, at the beginning of my end, so at the end of every turn, at the end of my turn, I can search my library for a creature, put it onto the battlefield. Okay, that's a great ability. It happens at the end of every turn. Okay, then I got a creature. I think I have way more planeswalkers than creatures in this deck actually. 3 mana for 3/2 haste mentor. When this attacks, I get a +1/+1 counter on a creature with less power. With an attacking creature with less power, okay. So that's only if another creature attacks with this creature. Then prevent all non-combat damage that be dealt to other creatures I control, so they can't do direct damage to my other creatures, I guess. And then the last ability just makes a gain first strike. So pretty interesting card. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually not sure exactly how to use this card, but I think I put him in because I found him pretty interesting to use. His abilities are very interesting anyways. Yeah, they just, nice mix of abilities there. Another planeswalker here is Basri Ket. 3 mana. First one, put a +1/+1 on a creature, gains indestructible until end of turn. That's pretty good. And the second one, whenever a non-token creature attack, you create that many 1/1 white creature tokens. Okay, so this is the Hero Bladefold effect for all my creatures. So second ability means anytime a creature I control attack, I get a 1/1 token that's tapped and attacking, and that stays on the battlefield. Last ability, at the beginning of combat my turn, I get a 1/1 token, then put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So basically I get a 2/2 at least, and then I get a +1/+1 counter on every creature. And that happens every combat. So, yep, great ability. It's the ultimate. I mean, is there any bad ultimate? It's another planeswalker, same at the tested. One target creature gains double strike. That's the first ability. Second one deals 2 damage divided as I choose. So really it can do either 2 damage or 1 damage to 2 things. Then the last one, search my life for up to 2 creatures or planeswalkers, and I put on the battlefield. The planeswalkers is interesting. So I can actually search my library for 2 planeswalkers and put them on the battlefield. Okay, that's cool. Another planeswalker here. So many planeswalkers in this deck. Xenagos, first one adds X mana, any combination where X is the number of creatures I control, so that can potentially add a lot of mana. Second one just puts a 2/2 with haste onto the battlefield. 2/2 hasty. And then the ultimate ability is XL top 7. I can put any number of creature or land cards from them onto the battlefield. Okay, this is not really that great of an ultimate, but it's okay. And then I have another planeswalker, Ajani, Strength of the Pride. First one, I gain life equal to the number of creatures I control plus the number of planeswalkers I control, which could be potentially a lot on this deck. Because in this deck, it's pretty much all creatures and planeswalkers. Second one creates a 2/2 token with whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on it, okay? And the last one, if you have at least 15 life more than your starting life total, so that means that would be in a, let's see, if it's not Commander you start with 40 life. If it's a normal game, you start with 20 life, so that means that we have 35 life. You exile, if you have at least 35 life, then in a normal game, you would exile this in each artifact and creature my opponents control. Okay, that's pretty decently powerful. It's not the most powerful thing I've seen, but it's okay. Another planeswalker, Sarkhan Vol. First one, creatures I control get +1/+1 to gain haste. That's very nice. That's a Fires of Yavimaya, basically. Second one, gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap it, gains haste. So that's a classic one of those red abilities where you control your creature, control another person's creature for just 1 turn or something. And the last one puts 5 4/4 red dragon creature tokens with flying. Yep, pretty nice ultimate. All right, another Gideon. Gideon the Trials. First one, until your next turn, prevent all damage target permanent would deal. Second one becomes a 4/4 with indestructible, prevent all damage, what Gideon always has the ability. And then the third one, another 0/1, is you get an emblem. As long as you control a Gideon planeswalker, you can't lose the game, and your opponents can't win the game. It's a Platinum Angel effect. So given the fact that I probably have like 3 Gideons in this deck, it's a pretty nice ability. I have like 3 Gideons in this deck. Okay, so another planeswalker, Domri, Chaos Bringer. 4 mana. The first one adds green or red mana. If it's spent on a creature spell, it gains Riot. I'll have to look up what Riot does, actually. I forget what that does. That's not that common of ability. Second one, look at the top 4 cards. You can put up to 2 creature cards from one of them and put them in my hand. Okay. Last one, at the end of each turn, not just my turn, the end of each turn, that includes the opponent's turns, creates a 4/4 red and green beast creature token with trample. That could build up very, very fast because it includes every turn. Another planeswalker, Johnny Goldmane. So it's one of the first planeswalkers, actually. First one, gain 2 life, pretty simple. Second one, put a +1/+1 counter each creature you control. They gain vigilance until end turn. Nice. Third one, I get a token with power and toughness equal to your life total. So it's a Sarah Avatar. So it's the last ability creates a Sarah Avatar. That's pretty nice. Master Wild Hunt, lastly. Okay. 4 mana, 3/3. As a creature, finally, then every turn I get a 2/2 wolf creature token, every one of my turns. And then the second one, tap an untapped wolf creature, and then each wolf creature deals damage to a power. So basically, when I tap this, all my wolves combine their power and then fights another creature. And yeah, and it can kill, you know, well, it deals whatever damage you want to the other, however you want, divided. So that's it, guys. That's the Naya Superfriends deck. As you can see, there are a lot of planeswalkers in this deck. That's really what it's about, is just planeswalkers, planeswalkers, planeswalkers. I mean, overwhelming the opponent with just a whole bunch of planeswalkers on the battlefield. So yeah, it's kind of ridiculous how many planeswalkers I have on here. But yeah, that's the Naya Superfriends deck. Thanks for watching.